So my name is Neil Clarke, and I'm originally a teacher, uh, but I've spent most of my teaching career teaching overseas. I've taught in international schools in Eastern Europe originally, and then in Southeast Asia, and eventually ended up in Hong Kong. Worked in Hong Kong for about 18 years, a number of years as a teacher, and then working with the education department there. So when I returned to Ireland, my plan was always to try to do something that would connect Ireland and China. So in 2022, myself and some of my colleagues established the Ireland China Culture and Education Centre. So as a way of introduction, I'd like to introduce you to Xianwen Zheng. Xian is a colleague of mine. He's been working with me for a number of years. So Xian, could I ask you to introduce yourself?
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Hi, hello
Hello,
everyone.
everyone.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
Xian
Shen.
Zheng. Thank you for joining today's meeting. Exactly, I'm originally from China and I've been living in Ireland for 20 years now. Exactly, it's my second hometown, Cork. I'm delighted to work with Lanier to build a bridge between the island and China in culture and education, especially for the secondary school. Over the years, we have built a stronger network in China, and also we have connected so many great local resources to create a program in China. And now also we got stronger support from the both side government. So we are in a really strong position to provide a fully support for this program. And also we know we can make sure students have a safe, meaningful, and highly beneficial experience in China. So welcome to our program. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Xian. So we're very much an Ireland Chinese organization. I will handle a lot of the stuff here in Ireland, and Xian handles a lot of our stuff in China in the different cities that we work in. We also have Ning with us today as well. So Ning is helping us as well. If you want to say hello, Ning.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to joining in this lovely show. Basically, hopefully, this about a 1 hour session could give you more information. Because just as Neil was showing the Shanghai, it's just hit me of the memory because in 2019, I worked and lived in Shanghai for half a year. And it's definitely a metropolitan and very open and very welcoming even today, like I'm still missing that place. Currently, I'm a PhD candidate in UCC. I came here in 2016 to do the master's and then a PhD. And I'm very fascinated with this project because I feel that it's a great chance and opportunity for to bring the Irish people, especially young people, the students, to experience the Chinese culture. Because personally, I feel like there's a huge difference and it is amazing and definitely worth to go. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ning. Thank you very much. So we established the ICCEC in 2022. And when we set it up, it was really to strengthen relations in the secondary education space between Ireland and China. There's a lot of connections at third level. Okay, we know that UCC has lots of connections, UCD, all the universities have connections with China, but in the secondary education space, there's very little. So when we put this together, it was really trying to build those connections. So in 2022, 2023, we traveled a number of times with Cork City Council, re-establishing connections between schools, friendship connections between schools in Cork and Shanghai, because Cork and Shanghai are twin cities. So it was really trying to build those relations again post-COVID. So that kind of started us down this road. And as we did that, we started to build relations with the Foreign Affairs Office in both Shanghai and Hangzhou. Hangzhou is a city about 3 hours by car from Shanghai. It's actually the home of AI. It's the home of deep sea in Hangzhou. So we built relations with the Foreign Affairs Office, with the local education department, with local government in both Shanghai and Hangzhou. And that's really important. And Xian mentioned that. Um, it's all about trust. For us to do what we're doing now has taken about 2 to 3 years to build those connections and network that allows us to bring the students into the schools in China, and to give us access. So it's been a step-by-step process. So we brought our first schools delegation to China in 2024. That was a group of teachers and school representatives who traveled over to see the different places that we were going to, so that they could experience it themselves and then know that it was safe for their students to go there. And we organized our first TY trips, transition year trips, went out last year in 2025. And those trips would have been to Shanghai and Hangzhou originally. And you'll see some of those videos from those trips a little bit later. So the purpose of our TY transition year tours, you can do lots of tours to China. And a lot of the tours are very touristy. They're first and foremost a tourist product. For us, it's not about that. It's about education. It's all centered around the students learning from the experience and being given the opportunity to learn as well. So first and foremost, it's educational, and we put them into an educational setting. So for the tours, we do different tours, but the ones I'm talking about tonight are the ones where the students actually stay in the schools. A lot of the schools in China are boarding schools, because students have to travel a distance sometimes to go to school, even in cities, Shanghai is a city of 25 million people. So if you want to travel from one side of Shanghai to the other, it could take you 2.5 hours. So it's like students will board even if they're in the same city, because of the length of time it takes to travel. So they have boarding facilities for the students. They're all very good boarding facilities. They have canteens. They have everything like that. So what we want to do is to bring the students there so that they're actually in the school, living, eating, working with the students. And I'll show you some of the itineraries in a little while. It's immersive, obviously. You're actually with the people all the time. And then the culture that you get from that. So if we bring you on a kind of a tourist trip, you won't necessarily get to meet the people. You won't get to learn about the people, to learn about the culture in the same way you will as when you're in the school setting.
No, I think it work now. It'll be fine as you.
Just 1 second.
No, you don't. No, it's working.
If you could just turn off the microphone. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. So the people, you get to interact, be with the people, and then the food. I mean, it's amazing, the food in China. Depending on where you go, it's different. Sorry, could I just ask anyone who has the microphone on just to turn it off? Thank you. Thank you. So the food is amazing. Anyone that goes there will tell you that. It's not like the local Chinese here. And it's just such an array of food that you can get. So we really introduce the students to that as well. It's fun. The students are busy all the time, lots of activities, lots going on. And I think, I describe it as a game changer because it really opens your mind to a whole different world, and a whole different set of experiences. So for me, that's incredibly important. So what I want to get across tonight, the purpose of our trips are very educational, but at the same time, they're fun, they're interesting, you get to do loads of different things. And I'll talk about some of these things for teachers as well, and what you can get from these trips. And of course, tourism. I mean, if you go to Beijing, you get to see the Great Wall of China, you get to see the Forbidden City, you get to see Tiananmen Square, you get to see the Summer Palace, and so on. That's all in the Beijing area. If you're going to somewhere like Shenzhen, of course, city of 13, 14 million people in the south of China, just next door to Hong Kong, you get into Hong Kong. If you notice, the background of this slide is a picture of the skyline of Hong Kong. So you get to see some amazing places, and sites. So tourism is also part of what we do as well. So this evening, I'll just give you an idea of some of the sample itineraries that we have. And I'm going to talk about the Beijing one and the Shenzhen, Hong Kong one. And I'm just going to come out of this to do that. Thank you. So this is just to give you an idea of the trip itself. So this is the one to Beijing. Okay, so it's a 9-day trip. It's accommodation, student dormitories, and then the meals will be two. You'll be school canteen, and then you'll be eating out as well in different restaurants. And then the focus as well on different things like the school immersion, learning Chinese language, culture, art, food, joint activities with the local students, which is very important, heritage sites, and also very important, the Chinese Technology Center visit as well. So this is what it would look like. Most of the flights go out at, there's a direct flight from Beijing to Dublin with Hainan Airlines, who we generally fly with. So that's a direct flight. And it's strange, it only takes 10 hours. All the Chinese airlines can fly directly over Russia, whereas the other airlines cannot. So if we were to go with a different airline, it would take about 15 hours. So direct airline, like Hainan, Chinese airlines, you can fly direct, which we have done many times in the past. So the flight gets you in early on the Sunday morning. So we generally leave on a Saturday, arrive on a Sunday. Then there's the check-in time, a little bit of rest time then for the students. And then they'll get their meeting with their Chinese buddies. So the students, there'll be a campus tour and then some group activities with the students. Welcome ceremony. And then we have the dumpling making, which is very much a part of the welcoming when you come to China. And then a barbecue dinner on campus, Chinese barbecue. Okay. On the Monday, then they would have like a Mandarin Chinese class, okay, and culture classes. And that would be with the local students, okay, in the school. They'd be going to the classes with the students and so on. There'd be a visit to the Forbidden City, and then evening activities, and then we'll do the traditional Peking duck dinner on the Monday evening. Tuesday, then the students split into classes. So they go to normal classes then, like maths, English, science, and so on. And they'll go to the classes with the students, okay? And then they visit more visits in the afternoon, the Temple of Heaven, and then to Beijing Fang, so some of the streets there. And then some shopping, which is really important. We know the students love to shop, so we bring them shopping then in the evening. And then some street food for dinner. Again, on the Wednesday, it's more arts and crafts. We want them to experience the arts and crafts that they have in China, and they get to do that. And then a visit to the technology centers, because this is really important. You know, everything is happening in China at the moment with AI and so on. So we want students to get to see how China is developing so fast technologically. So we get them out to see that as well. And then there's a campus dinner and school club activities, which are great because they get to do, the students live on campus, so they have sports clubs, music clubs, everything. So they get to do those activities with the students as well. Thursday is the Great Wall. That takes most of the day. And then we bring them back, and then the Beijing Opera, which is fantastic, and an acrobatic show with dinner. So that's what they do on the Thursday night. On the Friday, then we get them to think about what they've learned during the week, and the students interact with each other when they come together and look at the differences between life in Beijing and life in Ireland and getting them to think about those things. The afternoon is modern Beijing, you know, the downtown souvenir shopping and shopping at Silk Street. And the evening time is the hot pot dinner, again, a very famous type of Chinese food, and some activities with the students on campus. Usually a party, we do performances, that type of thing on the Friday night. Finally, then there's packing in the morning, and then they go to the Summer Palace in the afternoon. And then the flight leaves at about 2:50 in the morning, usually. It's in the early morning. And that gets back into Dublin around 7 o'clock on the Sunday, and then they return home. So that's generally what it looks like for the Beijing trip, okay? I've also shared with you the Shanghai or the Shenzhen one. I won't go through it tonight, but it's very similar, except with Shenzhen, you also get to go to Hong Kong because Shenzhen is right in the south. You just take the train literally across the border into Hong Kong. Only takes about a half an hour from the border down to Hong Kong Island. Okay, so that would be that trip. Okay, so let's go down then. And this gives you an idea of just what happens in the high school when they're there. So just a video to play here. I'll just play it. Sounds okay. So this is actually just in the schools and what the schools look like in the canteens. And then the different activities that they can do with the students as well. Okay, that just gives you an idea of that one. Let's move down. And this is just with another school. This was a different high school. This was actually done by the students from the Fuyang High School themselves. They did this video.
大家好，我是浙江少年记者团的记者，来自浙江省杭州富阳中学国际部的王静萌。今天有一群爱尔兰的学生来到我们学校交流，让我们随着镜头来看看吧。
So what you're seeing here is the students that actually got together in the music group that they were with, and they started playing
My
the
name is
instrument
Hamza
together.
North, and I'm from Villiers School in Limerick, in Ireland.
Is this your first visit to China?
Yes, this is my first visit ever to China, yeah. It's such a beautiful country, and I hope to come here in the future as well. I think everyone here is very, very friendly. Language it's obviously a barrier because like we don't all speak the same language, but it's just amazing how you can still connect with people even like through different language, just through like smiles and waves. Like I think China's like you're obviously very like technologically advanced. So I see you use a lot of laptops and iPads in your class. That's really your and very nice. Oh,
So I'm just going to preempt some of the questions you might have in terms of concerns and so on. Safety. China is an incredibly safe country. I mean, it is so safe. There's very little crime, very little problems like that or issues. So it's an incredibly safe.
Still hearing, yeah, no problem.
Okay, good. So very safe. Chinese people are very welcoming. It's unbelievable. They're so welcoming. They're so glad that you're there. It's such a safe place to go to. Okay. Hijinks. I know we hear lots of stories about TY students going on trips. This is one trip where there's very little hijinks. Okay. It's very controlled in terms of the environment. They're living on campus for most of it. They're very well monitored. So there's very little chance for them to do things that they shouldn't be doing. And we get that across to them from the very beginning that, you know, they are traveling to China, they're representing their school, they're representing their country. And most students respond well to that. And as I say, in the schools themselves, the environments are very controlled. So for the teachers, it makes it a much more relaxed kind of trip. Medical, very good medical facilities in China. Every school has a nurse on campus to start with. And then most schools, you know, there's hospitals nearby, etc., etc. So medical wise, I have no problems with students traveling to China. It is very safe, very secure. Dietary issues, we've had lots of students travel with us that have different dietary requirements. For the most part, it's fine. If they have very, very severe allergies, then we'll have to talk to them and just be practical. But in the main, they deal with this in China as well. So normally it's not such an issue. Security, as I said, very, very safe. Okay. And staff, we also have staff on the ground. So for teachers as well, we have people that are there. They're qualified teachers. They know what they're doing, and they assist you and support